Yo, what's up, guys? Brandon Bodylogic here at the HyperHuman Headquarters, back with another movie review. This time we're doing Ant-Man and the Wasp. So before I begin, let me just say this is like a semi-spoiler-free review. Okay, I'm not really giving anything major away, just deconstructing the character archetypes in a conceptual way, as well as giving my thoughts on the movie overall. So you've been warned. Okay, Ant-Man and Wasp, highly anticipated movie, mostly because we need that connective tissue to Infinity War that came out in April. We didn't see Ant-Man in Infinity War, even though he was mentioned, and then as most people know, there's a connection with Ant-Man and like the quantum realm that's coming up for Avengers 4, and how that whole storyline is going to play out is something that people are interested in. So there was a lot of buzz around this movie, no pun. Plus, we wanted to know what happened to everybody during and after the Infinity War conflict. And also, after the finger snap, did they get vaporized, materialized? What happened? Okay, so we got all of those questions answered in the movie, okay, just so you know. So you'll find some reassurance in that. Movie-wise, it was enjoyable. It was a fun popcorn movie. They pulled off an entertaining experience, which was a little tricky because, there's a little bit of fatigue out there with comic book movies. A little fatigue with Marvel movies in general. Like, we already had Black Panther and Infinity War, and, we had Deadpool and all this other stuff. So it was a little bit tricky, but they did a really good job. One of the best things that Ant-Man has going for it is a formulaic humor that works. They use their own brand of humor and comedy. It's their own formula that the audience can embrace. It's very similar to the way that Thor Ragnarok has created its own humor that now really, really works well. And it's enjoyable and it's fun to watch. So people that are watching Ant-Man can come to expect that type of thing. And, that, like I said, that works. Obviously, Ant-Man and Wasp aren't top tier, apex superhero properties. So they can't take themselves too seriously. And they position that, they position the narrative and the production in the movie, perfectly so that it comes off as a fun experience. Okay, next up is Wasp. Now, if you're a comic book fan, the Wasp was slightly more popular than Ant-Man. So we've kind of been waiting for this, and they definitely delivered. I love Evangeline Lilly. She is an action heroine. I don't care what she says or what anybody else says. She can act. She has fantastic spatial command and body control. She can step into any character and just own it. The creativity with her suit powers and the fight sequences were they were awesome to watch. If they make a standalone film with the Wasp, I'd have no problems with that whatsoever. Okay, next up is Ant-Man. And Ant-Man had the fool to hero story arc. Okay, so there's a sequence in the hero and heroine's journey that has a foolish phase. And, this happens in various ways. It plays out differently. You have to be a fool before you become a hero. And you're probably wondering why. Well, in order to learn how to become competent and take on responsibility and become that hero, you have to mess up. You have to make mistakes. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. And Scott Lang is a fool in the sense of, what he values, particularly at the beginning of the movie. He doesn't really want the responsibility. He kind of just wants to relax and live a decent life under the radar in his own surroundings. And when he's called for like a higher, when he's given a higher calling, and to take on responsibility and raise his morals and all that other stuff, he kind of pushes it away. And you see this play out throughout the film until he has kind of like an epiphany of how foolish he's been. And not only that, he also considers the alternative, like, should I try to do the heroic thing and stand up, or what do I do? Sit down and just be like a nobody for the rest of my life kind of thing. So we see that play out in the movie. And this is an important lesson that a lot of people miss in their own journey and their own self-development. You have to be a fool in some sort of way. It's what trains you to become the hero or the heroine. And, being a fool is painful, of course, especially if you're like aware of it too. Some people are completely oblivious to how foolish they are, and, others are very well aware of it. It's embarrassing. It's disappointing. It's a failure, but it's a fail up. That's what makes you, if it doesn't break you. So the Ant-Man plays that fool turned hero character type, which is kind of cool to watch. Lastly, the character of Ghost, which was played by Hannah John Kamen, I think her name is. She did a fantastic job. She's a really good actress, underrated in my opinion. Her role was, something that we're seeing at the current moment with villains, is all these iterations of villains, which is the conflict villain. It's very similar to the anti-hero character type. You have a villain who has a background story and a valid reason, or the ability to understand why the villain is who they are, kind of like a victim of their own circumstance. That's how they're playing out these villains nowadays. There's like a nihilistic mentality around what they do. They're seeking out revenge. They're seeking retribution. The idea of I'm going to get what's owed to me, or I'm going to get what's coming to me kind of thing. We saw it with Thanos. We saw it with Killmonger and Black Panther. The villain is conflicted in their own pursuits, and the audience kind of sees that. They're conflicted in how the audience is conflicted in how they feel about the villain, and it calls into question your own sense of compassion and conscientiousness, and the struggle between those two dynamics. It makes for fun and interesting storytelling. So I definitely wanted to see more of Ghost and the actress. So that's how the movie left me feeling, and I felt the same way with Killmonger and Black Panther. So. Okay, guys, that's my review. Definitely go see the movie. Stay for the mid-credits. It helps tie in the question of what was going on with Ant-Man and the Wasp after Thanos did the finger snap. So please like, subscribe, share the video. And if you already saw the movie, comment about your favorite character. It was hard for me to pick on this one. I couldn't decide if it was like the Wasp or the Ghost or what. But hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you soon.